What's going on, gamers? So I know this news has been going around, but I haven't been able to get to it, but I finally get to find out how the hell this happened and what the source of it is. And that's the PS5 jailbreak happening with certain ROM keys leaking out, and there is a game that is a source to this happening. Not only is there a game that is a source to this happening, but in order to do it, you kind of need this. So what people are doing is they're buying this game, but since people know that, they monopolize the hell out of the game already to a ridiculous price, where it's like, yeah, if you want to do this, you're going to have to pay out the behind for this game. So are we ready to see what this is all about? Mr. Review Tech USA 2 here has some insight. So let's get into this. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. This is crazy. I guess you could say the PS5 has definitely been out, pretty much 5+ years now. And a mistake happened, so it would have took a lot longer, obviously. But you do need something to do this, otherwise it is not going to happen. And I don't see a lot of people doing this, but it is interesting to see this happen. But you never know. I wonder if they can find more copies of this game, because that's the only way. All right, here we go, guys.
Everything I mentioned. So as we know, the PS5's ROM keys, which are baked into the chip, were leaked online around New Year's Eve, which means that it's going to be easier for people to jailbreak the PlayStation 5, and that's a big problem for Sony. Well, it seems that it's the PS5's disauthentication and mounting process for backwards compatible games for the PS4. That's where the exploit was found, and because of that, there's a certain game for the PS4 that is skyrocketing in price. This is what Dexerto has to say about it. The method is said to rely specifically on the PS4 disc version of Racer Revenge, which runs through a separate system layer that is not accessed by digital copies.
Okay, so yeah, that's a very limited way of doing things, because you need some old PS4 disc game. A lot of people have digitals. Some people have, I guess you could say the older models, but who's going to go out of their way to really do this? I don't see a lot of people, but it is enough to get something out there. And it's funny that it's a Star Wars game and it's kind of like a mid one. What the hell? Let's keep watching this. This is getting interesting. So I see $411, $379, and $364.
Because of this, the current eBay listings show that the game jumped around $50 to as high as $500 as resellers rush to cash in on the newly discovered rumored exploit. This is not the first time a PlayStation quirk has driven prices sky high, as PlayStation 4 consoles still carrying PT. PT was actually a demo that was pulled from the PlayStation Store for an upcoming Silent Hill game that was being worked on by Hideo Kojima and Guillermo del Toro. I think I'm saying his name right. So if you wanted to play that game, you had to get your hands on a PS4 that already had the demo installed. If not, you were out of luck, so that made the price of PS4s with the PT demo installed go up, skyrocket. Well, Star Wars Racer Revenge, I didn't even realize this until looking into stuff for this video, was actually released for the PlayStation 2 back in 2002, and it was re-released for the PlayStation 4 from what I'm gathering. On its scores are fairly mixed, so
yeah,
if you're looking to buy this game to jailbreak your PS5, hopefully you're just buying it for that, because it doesn't seem like it's a really good Star Wars game, which, color me shocked. Well, because of these jailbreak rumors that this game is the key to jailbreak your PlayStation 5, take a look at how much it's going right now. $411.
Yeah, and so we have limited run games. That's interesting. Yeah, it's a 24-year-old game is the reason through backwards compatibility on the hard drive. How interesting. It has to be a physical copy of this game, which we know there's not a lot of them out in the wild. But yeah, I don't think Sony's still happy about this for sure.
Sealed new, which if you're looking to jailbreak your PlayStation 5, you're going to unseal it, is $380. We have another one down here, $364.50. So a bargain for a very mid Star Wars game, and you don't even know if it's actually truly going to help you jailbreak your PS5. Please don't buy this.
That's what I was going to tell you guys. you're taking a gamble and they're getting that money. So be careful with your consent on this. Definitely if you don't know much about it. As far as I'm concerned, it's kind of a niche book, you know, like, or spook. Like, I mean, I get that that happened, but it's not a major concern. Definitely because it's not digital. That would have been terrible. And who knows if just by means where they pull this game out of the digital category, though I don't think that that's going to happen as far as being able to do something through that, but it is pretty interesting. Hilarious. But yeah, guys, I mean, I'm telling you right now, I wouldn't do this. And I guarantee you the prices that before this, those people that were mass monopolizing on this for people who probably do know what they need to do. And they're the ones reselling stuff. You know what's interesting right here is seeing 627 positive, 55 positive. These are people who are obviously still using this website quite a bit. So yeah, it's not a huge deal that I thought it was going to be. I thought this was something that was like something that would be readily available on some site or something readily available that, you know, it's going to mass affect them. But with this is kind of like minuscule, but it's still interesting to see how somebody found out how to get the ROM keys through something like this.
Don't buy it. But at least, thankfully, as you see here, it's being sold by Heavy Horse Plush. So you could be confident buying your copy of Star Wars Racer Revenge from someone whose name is Heavy Horse Plush. I want to buy the game simply because of the eBay user's name.
Yeah.
It's time to replace you with a horse. So before you go run out and spend $400 on a fairly crappy Star Wars game, realize that there's been no jailbreak tools that have been released. And this method that they're saying is the exploit to jailbreak your PlayStation 5 hasn't been, outside of people talking about it, hasn't been 100% confirmed. I want to make that abundantly clear. And unless you want to get into jailbreaking your console to truly just experiment and see what kind of things you could do with a jailbroken console, you can't put it online. Sony will brick it. Yeah. You can't start some like mass piracy scheme. You'll be put in jail. So unless you want to do this to experiment with your PS5 and nothing beyond that, you better keep it offline. You better make sure that Wi-Fi is turned off, because if you put a jailbroken PS5 online, goodbye to your account. But if we find out in the long term that this jailbreak works and these discs, these older games, are an exploit, once Pandora's box is open, you can't close it back up. And I'm sure that Sony right now, who are being silent about this, which they're known for being silent when situations like this happen in the past, Sony is absolutely losing sleep, because remember, this exploit is baked into the chip that's in the PS5.
Yeah.
You can't just patch this with software. They're going to, or they can, but they're going to have to keep doing software updates to try to mitigate the losses.
He's right. Yeah, when it's a hardware issue in that sense, you do have to keep doing that, and it makes it a lot harder, rather than it being some digital issue that they could just digitally get rid of. That's not really the case, but right now it is not something that is a huge problem. But like he said, there's a potential for Pandora's box to open up online. And yeah, we don't want a homebrew situation at the worst degree. Well, Sony doesn't, you know what I mean? And yeah, I mean, here's my thing. When I first heard about it, I never looked at anyone's video. I saw it, but I was wondering how significant it was. Now that I know this is definitely not something that's crazy, but there is potential. And I'm pretty sure, like he said, Sony is making sure to do everything to prevent that. So I wonder what's going to be their next step. I think there's going to be some software update coming out soon, you know, to remedy some of that stuff. And maybe they might be doing them more frequent until they realize that this thing is off the planet of the PlayStation ecosystem, and they don't need any of that happening right now. Definitely with this crisis going elsewhere. I mean, it's already ridiculous enough with the DRAM, the SSD, the GPU prices. I mean, just everything. You know, you guys watched my video before about the PS5 or PS6 getting delayed, which I'm like, whether you think it is or not, 2028 is the earliest, I'm telling you. But getting back to this though, yeah, it is interesting to see people monopolize on that, and I think it's literally for people who really know what they're doing, the same people that probably knew what they were doing with homebrew. Other than that, when you think about the average populace and the the whole player pool down, which is the biggest base, I don't really think they give a damn, and they're not going to take that risk in this economy to try to pay $400 to $500 for something that they may not get to work for them, and they'll be stuck with that, and they're not going to get their money back. And if you do that to your PlayStation, like you were saying too, you can't get anything. You're kind of just stuck saying that it's cool, I did this, but yeah, but what are you going to do then? Your PlayStation is screwed now. You spent that money for no reason. If you want to continue playing something else, you have to go buy another one. So be careful with this, guys. I'm just going to give you a warning. It's not like it's something that's like, oh, we got it and now everybody can go do it. It's like, oh, no, be careful. Because you're just going to be wasting money, and you're going to be wasting the money you spent on your PlayStation 5. That's what I think.
With people trying to jailbreak their consoles. It's going to be a constant
back and forth.
It's going to be a constant cat and mouse, and it's going to be a constant whack-a-mole. So Sony probably wants to be quiet about this because they don't want to bring any more publicity to it, so they can, you know, put more band-aids on the leaking ship of the jailbreakable PS5s and not let more people know about it, because they're going to try to figure out how to jailbreak it themselves. So at this point, with these ROM key leaks, we'll have to see where the chips fall. Is this actually truly a jailbreak, or is this going to be something within a few months that we'll look back at and it was a nothing burger? Sony,
I kind of feel like that's the case here. Because if he really had something, it would be a lot more significant. But like he said, there's always that little crack for Pandora's box, but I think that that's going to be tough.
Either way, is probably not going to say too much, like I said, and only time will tell. But I assure you, with the next line of PlayStation 5 hardware that they release in terms of revisions,
get ready for new models.
They're absolutely going to fix this exploit until people find another one, and then they exploit that. That's just how it goes, man.
Yeah, it's a loophole.
This is Rich of Review Tech USA, signing out.
Good video, brother. Yeah, guys, so let me know what you think about this. Like I said, this is my first time kind of getting into this topic, but I'm like, you know what? I need to cover this because I haven't covered it. And when I did, I got the truth in this video. This guy pretty much had the right stuff here. So now we know what this whole situation is really about, and we have all the angles covered. So like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. Interesting stuff here. Later, guys.